Today I'm back on my lemon tree that was really struggling in the last video. It was looking pretty yellow, but you can see here it's a lot greener, which is exactly what I want to see. I repot it into this larger pot. Well, it's still quite small, but it's a lot larger than what it was in before, and that extra space seems to have made it a lot happier. It's still growing well in September, and you can actually see it's been growing up against the side of the grow tent. So the growth looks kind of lopsided, but it's fine. This tree is very much still in the early days. It actually looks like it's put on even more growth by October, so I think it's safe to say it's pretty happy and healthy. Normally the trees are slowing down at this time of year, and it seems like it's finally doing that in November. A few of the older leaves look like they're dying off, which is totally normal. It's an evergreen, but the old leaves will shed themselves. After recording this in December, I actually put it out in the shed. It could probably stay inside, but it doesn't mind a bit of a winter cool down. The shed keeps it kind of chilled rather than actually freezing, but seems to keep it healthy by letting it rest for a while. In late February, I brought it back inside and it's going to need to be pruned back before it starts growing again. I don't really have a plan for this tree, it's just kind of being allowed to grow, and then I'm pruning it back and we'll kind of see where it wants to go from there. I just started by pruning most of it back and then trying to work out what's going where. It's kind of growing all over the place, and well, I don't really have a plan. I still need to follow some basic principles like growing outwards and not crossing and stuff like that. So really what we're looking at here is just a mess. So it got pretty drastic and I removed quite a lot of it. So now it looks dreadful, but there is start of a main structure. Now I'll let it grow out and pretty much repeat this next spring if it's needed, and we'll let things slowly develop from there. I have wired a branch down, but it's more just to bend the first inch or so away from the trunk. So just ignore that the end of it's more downwards facing. In March it's just looking kind of funky, but I'm just waiting for some buds to start pushing and then I'll repot it again. And that's exactly what's happening here. Hopefully you can see those buds. They're super healthy and they look like they're about to open pretty soon, so it's a good time to repot. I just started by removing the moss, which was just growing on its own. It's actually quite a thick layer. I had to brush it off the trunk too. I should have probably made more effort stopping that during the year, but I guess this year is better than nothing. Luckily there's a lot of give in this plastic pot, so it just slips right out. And right away you'll see there's lots of roots. It wasn't too bad, but it did take a while to get things loosened up. But it was actually just compact on the outside. The inside of the root ball wasn't too crazy. So the soil was still in pretty good condition there. But the main thing is it looks very healthy. The extra space for this larger pot seems to really help it. After a while I was left with this. It's a pretty decent root ball. It's not perfect, but it's getting there. Didn't need much work, just needed to shorten back, as some roots were pretty long. After shortening everything back, I was left with this. It's pretty flat, but maybe it's a little wide. So I just trimmed some more back to make sure it had all the space around the edges, and then I just potted it up. I'm of course using the same pot. It's done well in there. There's still plenty of space for it to keep growing, and hopefully it'll keep developing. There's not much happening in April, but that's to be expected. Then in May it's looking like things are doing well. A few shoots have taken off, although you can't really see from this angle, but seems happy enough. Maybe if I change to show you just the top you can see better. So it looks all good so far. In June it's still doing well. I thought about pruning it, but I think I'm just going to leave it. I'll just take the slow and steady for now. And here we are now, so it's doing fine so far this year. Thanks for watching, see you next time.